Welcome back, everyone. Today we're going to be reading some of the prayers for Purim from the Entering the Light, Prayers to Experience the Joy and Wonder of Shabbat and Yom Tov. It's a Breslov book, and it draws from Reb Nosson of Nemirov's prayers for the holidays based on the teachings of Reb Nachman of Breslov. And so we'll be beginning with prayer number 61. We'll actually be going a little bit out of order, although there's only 2 prayers for the holiday of Purim. We'll be starting with prayer 61, as it's a little bit, not a little bit, but quite a bit shorter than prayer 60. So for those who might not want to listen to all of these and only have a little bit of time to pray and meditate today, which even that is worth a tremendous amount, and I congratulate you even for doing that. But for those who want to stick around and who are able to, we'll be able to start with prayer number 61, and then we'll move on to prayer 60. So beginning on page 185, we go to the prayer called Banishing Haman and Crowning Mordecai. The description says, "Lust for money leads people to commit all kinds of sins that tarnish their souls and strengthen the klipa of Haman Amalek. If only we were to hearken to Mordecai and Esther, we would understand the real value of gold and silver. Have mercy and save us from the lust for wealth. Help us to break the craving for social status and riches, and may we not harbor the least desire to accumulate wealth in this world that does not belong to us. Rather, let us our entire passion and longing and striving be for the Holy Torah, to acquire wisdom and divine knowledge, and to cleave to your holy mitzvos. Grant us the merit of fixing in our lifetimes all the damage that we've caused through the desire for wealth. May we redeem all the sparks of holiness that the klipa devoured due to our many sins and the evil passions that led us to commit them, especially our craving for money. Speedily fulfill the verse, he devoured wealth but will disgorge it. God will purge it from his gut. May we overcome and destroy and nullify and eradicate and annihilate and uproot the klipa of Haman Amalek from the world, this being the lust for wealth. May we extricate the holy life force from this klipa and restore all the lost sparks of holiness and vitality to all their supernal source, and transform them into Torah. Enable us to draw upon ourselves constantly the holiness of Mordecai and Esther, and help us to reveal and cause to shine all the sublime colors inherent in silver, gold, and copper, in great sanctity and purity, according to your beneficent will. Have compassion toward us in your abundant mercy, and confer upon us the trait of your true compassion. And so may we show compassion toward all creatures, and perform many acts of charity and kindness." Now, we'll begin with a much longer prayer 60, called Asking for Miracles. Reb Nosson evokes the connection between Purim and Pesach in several different contexts in this emotional prayer, pleading with God to deliver us today with the same wonders and miracles that he performed in days of old. May it be your will, O God and God of our fathers, who performs miracles and wonders in every generation, fighting our battles and adjudicating our judgments, avenging our grievances, repaying all those who hate us, and compensating us for our sufferings. Shower your abundant mercy upon us and deliver us with your awesome wondrousness, so that we may receive and uphold the holy days of Purim in their season, as is befitting. Let us fulfill all the holy mitzvos performed on Purim in great holiness and purity, joyfully and wholeheartedly, quote, with mirth, glad song, pleasure, and delight, according to all their detailed laws and fine points and intentions, as well as the complete structure of 613 mitzvot that depend on them. Master of the universe, you've already made known to us the miracles and wonders you performed for our ancestors, which our holy festivals commemorate, are all reenacted and revealed and shine forth in every generation and in every person and time. We need to draw the holiness of Purim in all the festivals, as well as the miracles and wonders that took place in these times, and in every year, in every generation, and in every person. Therefore, I've come before you, you who performs miracles and wonders in every generation, as well as in every day and every hour with this request. Teach me and instruct me and be gracious to me and grant me the privilege to rejoice on Purim truly and completely, to rejoice with all my heart and soul on the holy days of Purim, each and every year with boundless joy. Through the joy and the holiness of Purim may I draw upon myself and upon all Israel the holiness and purity of the Parah Adumah, the red heifer, which purifies from contact with the dead. And for you commanded us to read the Torah account of the Parah Adumah after Purim, and you disclosed to us that through Purim we merit to attain the spiritual purification of the Parah Adumah, so that we will be in the necessary state of purity to receive the holiness of the Korban Pesach in its season. Master of the universe, Rabbeinu Shel Olam, you know how deeply we have fallen during this bitter exile, and how many spiritual sufferings have overwhelmed each Jew, including myself. The depths of the sea threaten to drown me. They engulf me from all sides. I'm in such dire straits that I cannot even think of any way to solve my problems and be saved from all this. I need miracles and wonders and awesome salvations such as those you performed for all Israel long ago. Awesome miracles and wonders that have not been seen since the days of Mordechai and Esther. When the evil Haman, may his name be blotted out, rose up against us. As you informed us through your holy sages of blessed memory, the miracle of Purim was greater than all the miracles you have ever performed. And, quote, all the festivals will be cancelled in time to come. The days of Purim will never be cancelled. And, quote, at first all beginnings were from Pesach, since all the holidays commemorate the exodus from Egypt. But now, Master of the universe, ruler of the entire world, master of wonders, who causes all deliverances to sprout forth, you know the truth that of all the miracles and wonders you have performed for us, the exodus from Egypt and the battle with Amalek in the days of Moshe, in the days of Mordechai and Esther, and all the miracles and wonders you performed for us on our behalf during the days of Hanukkah, as well as in every generation, the greatest miracle and salvation is the deliverance of the soul. For the jealousy and the hatred of all our adversaries and persecutors, both physical and spiritual, focus squarely on our belief in the Lord our God, and our desire to walk in your holy ways, and to fulfill your awesome mitzvot, and to reveal and publicize the truth of our faith in your divinity, your providence, and your sovereignty. For this reason, exclusively, quote, not one alone arose against us to destroy us. Rather, in every generation they have arisen against us to destroy us, but the Holy One, blessed be He, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, rescued us from their hands. Display your zealousness to save us from all our troubles, and perform miracles and wonders to preserve your Torah and mitzvahs. Do not allow our Torah to cease from the world, God forbid, as is the desire of the anti-Semites and atheists who are instruments of the klipa of Ham and Amalek. Now, what can I say before you, who dwells on high? And what can I relate before you, who sits in the heavens, and after all these miracles and wonders, I alone persecute myself more than all our enemies. For I did not overcome my desires, but even welcomed the evil inclination. And then I did what I did, until I brought upon myself all these afflictions, sufferings of the soul that are more difficult and bitter than all sufferings. And there's no suffering like the suffering of the soul. Indeed, this is the greatest reason for pity, to extricate a Jewish soul from sins and spiritual damage. Master of the entire world, Rabbeinu Shel Olam, the primordial one, God of truth, you alone know the true implications of my words, for I am, quote, empty and know nothing of the full scope of the miracle of Purim, physically and spiritually, and in particular how to imbue me with this miracle and deliverance. You alone know all this, and with glimmers of intuition and various hints without measure. You constantly beckon to me from afar as to how I may come closer to you. But I, in my stubbornness, still have not turned back from my straying. Yet this is my consolation in my bitter poverty, that I persist in speaking words such as these before you, and trail my words from the dust unto you, and still hope for your mercy and deliverance. Master of the universe, you alone know the magnitude of the miracle that took place in the days of Mordechai and Esther. We're privileged to win the war against Haman and Amalek in order to blot out their name and memory from the world, and how in doing so, they were able to transmit a wondrous illumination and awesome salvation from generation to generation, and how even now all our vitality and hope to leave our exile in body and soul can only be found through the power of this miracle. We stand and long for your deliverance, and just as you helped them in former times to subjugate and destroy the Klippa of Haman Amalek, to uproot and eradicate and conquer this great force of corruption, to reveal faith in your providence to the world, to return and uphold and receive anew the holiness of your Torah, so may you come to our aid in every generation until we win the war completely and utterly wipe out the memory of Amalek. Remove the spiritual impurity from the earth and return us to you in truth, and speedily bring us forth from our bitter exile. Therefore I have come before you, Master of Wonders, begging you to take to heart the great anguish of our souls. Gaze upon our misery and travail. Do not gaze upon our deeds. Work miracles and wonders for us, Purim miracles, and set into motion chains of cause and effect for our benefits, that we may return to you during our lifetimes immediately, without a moment's delay, and never again return to our folly. Master of the universe, who gives life to the living God, the eternal King, have mercy on us and grant us life and preserve us and sanctify us and purify us from the impurity of contact with the dead, which is the primary source of impurity. This corresponds to moral thoughts and fantasies which have come to proliferate through the world, to the point that we're drowning in the watery abyss without a foothold. We've entered deep waters, and the rushing current sweeps us away. To the power of the holiness of Purim, enable us to receive and imbue ourselves with the holiness and purity, the perfect para aduma, which purifies from contact with the dead, both in this world and in the world to come. Then grant us the merit to receive the holy festival of Pesach, the season of our liberation, with great sanctity and immeasurable joy. And in your mercy may we merit to fulfill all the mitzvot of Pesach with great holiness and with great joy and gladness. Protect us from even the smallest amount of chametz and leavening, so that even the least speck of chametz or leavening cannot be found in our domain throughout the days of Pesach. For it's revealed and known to you, Master of the entire world, that it would be impossible for a human being of flesh and blood to be sufficiently vigilant about the least amount of chametz, were it not for your deliverance and mercy. So have mercy on us in your abundant compassion, our mighty Redeemer, truly merciful one, and guard and save us from even the least amount of chametz throughout the holy days of Pesach. Help us and grant us the privilege to go out from slavery to freedom, and from grief to joy, and with mourning to Yom Tov, and from darkness to the greatest light. Let us celebrate the Pesach Seder with deep fervor and fiery enthusiasm and boundless joy. May we be found worthy of receiving the most wondrous illumination of all states of expanded consciousness and constricted consciousness, which shined forth on Pesach with most awesome, wondrous radiance. All merciful one, help us to fulfill the mitzvot of Purim with such holiness and joy that in this merit we succeed in protecting ourselves from even the least trace of chametz, and fulfill the awesome mitzvot of Pesach with great holiness and profound joy. Have compassion for the sake of your name, and enable us even now to evoke your mercy. Help us and save us according to this Torah, to return and draw close to you immediately and truthfully. The power of the holiness of the miracle and the wondrous deliverance of Purim, save us, so we may be transformed this very moment from evil to good, and from profuse darkness to great light. Enable us to complete the fast of Esther before Purim in great sanctity, and recite the Slichot with intense concentration, and to call out and scream to you from the depths. Open my heart that I may truly feel the pain of my sins, the profound travail of my soul, which is beyond measure, that I merit to scream in a loud and bitter scream as befits me according to the enormity of my sins and transgressions, and the tremendous damage that I've done to my soul, until you awaken your mercies upon me in truth, and hasten to rescue and redeem me from myself, and thus to perform, quote, in your statutes I will walk, in your mitzvahs I will heed, in truth and with a whole heart. My Father, my King, my Former, my Creator, my Maker, teach me the way to begin anew from the holiness of Purim, as you've hinted to us through your holy sages. Help me in a miraculous manner, and through a wondrous deliverance, through a wondrous and awesome innovation, so that from now on I will return to you, complete the tshuva, and make a completely new start in serving you with all my heart and soul. Instruct me and teach me how to begin in truth, and in which way, and according to which advice, that I might return to you. Master of the universe, quote, great in counsel and mighty indeed, send me good advice and save me quickly for the sake of your name, so that I will merit from now on to attain perfect tshuva in all the days of my life. And from this moment on, never veer from your will, neither to the right or the left. May I merit to study and teach, to heed, to perform and fulfill all the words of your Torah with love. May you fulfill all mitzvot and all holy tasks, and perform each service in its proper season, and do everything at the appropriate time with great holiness and purity. Please strengthen me with joy and gladness constantly. In the power of the true Tzaddik, may I banish and nullify from me and from all Israel the klipa of Haman Amalek. May their names be blotted out. May I draw upon myself the holiness of the miracle and deliverance of Purim. Have mercy on us and in every generation and every year, that we should be privileged to rejoice greatly during the days of Purim with the greatest delight, that we may fulfill the mitzvot of reading the Megillah in great holiness and purity and boundless joy. That may we could contemplate this awesome miracle and astounding redemption and publicize the miracle to every person and assemblage. Grant us the privilege of fulfilling the mitzvot of sending foods, mishloach manot, to our friends and neighbors, giving charity to the poor, and celebrating a festive meal in honor of Purim wholeheartedly and with great joy. Enable us to fulfill the mitzvah of drinking to the point of intoxication on Purim, as our sages of blessed memory have instructed us, and help us and protect us so that absolutely no harm befalls us from drinking on Purim, neither physical nor spiritual, and that no harm befalls any person or property as a result of our drinking. Rather, let us attain only the greatest joy and delight through drinking on Purim. May we experience the true joy of Purim, when an awesome spiritual illumination shines on us, the light of Mordechai, the likes of which cannot be glimpsed at any other time of the year. And let us rejoice with all our hearts and gladden the hearts of others, and cause all Israel to rejoice with the joy of Purim in absolute ecstasy. Let us delight and exalt in your salvation with true joy, in a manner that you will find gratifying, favorable, and a source of pleasure due to our drinking celebrating in Purim. Even now, may we be privy to the great miracle and wondrous deliverance of Purim every year, and may we subjugate, uproot, and eradicate from our midst the klipa of Haman Amalek and its tremendous corruption, and blot out its name and memory from the world. Help us to cleanse ourselves of this corruption with the greatest sanctity and purification, and imbue ourselves with the holiness of Mordechai and Esther. May we transmit the joy of Purim to the rest of the year entirely, and rejoice in you constantly with the greatest delight. Through this may we be privy to the holiness of the Para Adumah, the holiness of Pesach, and be happy always, fulfill in us all the words of the verse, for in him our hearts will rejoice, and for his holy name we trusted. May the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable before you, my rock and my redeemer.